I was afraid I shouldn't say something. Is this on? Okay. I'm calling the meeting to order. Monique, is there a quorum?
Yes, ma'am, there is.
Thank you. We called this meeting for one purpose only, and so I'm not going to go through the Pledge of Allegiance and the sorry about that. So we will go immediately to the agenda item, which is, we used the wrong terminology when we talked about a special assessment, which, as some people called to our attention, should have been a supplementary assessment. Dan, do you want to start with?
That?
Yes, you're the one that screwed
We
it up.
hope that this will be adequate to satisfy a member that has indicated that he would have been there. I hope this way of changing this will be adequate to satisfy the member that was upset that we referred to the supplementary assessment in error as a special assessment. We described the supplementary assessment, but we called it a special, and it's not a special, it's supplementary. So with this on the agenda, I think is probably enough notice to that individual if he cares to come and speak for or against it. I therefore will make a motion that we modify the motion that was passed in our previous board meeting, October 15th, I believe, levying a special assessment which should have been called a supplementary assessment. So the word special will be changed to supplementary in that motion. The rest of the motion will remain the same. That's the motion.
I will second.
Now we'll have discussion.
So how much are we gonna be paying?
The same amount, it was $45. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
$45
$45.
supplementary assessment to offset deficits the Ford has been operating under.
Primarily the garbage truck, if you want to know. Yes, sir.
Okay, forgive me, because I don't understand. I currently pay $121 a month. Under this special assessment, or whatever you decide to call it, how much will I be paying?
Well, your regular assessment, that $121 a month, I'm sure is both a regular assessment and a resident assessment. And you
Yeah,
must have
it's a
at
lot,
least,
and then a lot with a home.
yeah, you must have several lots, 2 lots.
I do, one with a house and one next to it.
Yes. So that will not change, that'll be the same. This is a one-time assessment of $45. You will receive a separate invoice for that.
Is it for each lot?
Yeah, and that'll be on each lot.
So mine's gonna be $90 a year.
No, just this one time. 1 year. It can only be levied once in a calendar year, and this motion only levies this one time in this calendar year. Now, a board may decide in the future at some time if it's necessary to do that again, but at this point, that hasn't happened.
Okay, the second part of my
Excuse me.
question,
Go ahead.
the second part of my question is, will my monthly dues of the $121, nothing else is
No.
gonna change?
No.
Thank you, because y'all had just about priced me out before. I thought this was gonna be a month,
No.
No. Well, I lost my thought. I better
Maybe you
jump
wanted to
right in.
mention the common ground assessment?
Well, the common property assessment this year was $29, which is the taxes on the common areas.
Right.
And that's just a one-time only.
It's always this time. It's always this time of the year.
But
Ma'am?
The property, the common property assessment is always at this time of the year when we get our tax bill.
Right.
So you can count on that once a year.
Right, I understand that, thank you.
I think I've found my thought again. The supplementary assessment can only be used for a, if you go over the amount that you have budgeted for the year. We are trying to do better planning for the future.
We all need to, that's for sure.
No, yeah. Anyway, the thing that we want to be careful is that our fiscal year and our calendar year are different.
Yes, ma'am.
So when it can only be used for the fiscal year overage, and in this case, the garbage truck just was not gonna make it.
I know,
And a few
we saw
other
it go up
things.
in front of our home,
Oh,
the oil all over. But may I ask another question?
Sure.
Reference of the spending, and I know I'm trying to go off on the tangent or anything like that. How about a committee? Put a committee together to look at some of the spending. And,
We just
and
happen
make
to have done that.
recommendations.
We just happen to have done that. Do you want to be on the committee?
I'd love to be on the committee.
Then you should volunteer. There has been a request for volunteers on the Financial Advisory Committee, which would be involved in that.
May I address the volunteer system? Y'all just put out a thing in the emails that you asked for someone to volunteer for something in their, each one of their areas. We can't even get a call back when we volunteer,
I've experienced that in past years myself.
okay? So I'm trying to volunteer and then,
Where do we go to go ahead and take care of that today?
Do we have your name and contact information?
we did when we called it in, but I'd like to make certain that it's there, because we're not getting calls.
Came yesterday, I checked my voicemail this morning, I haven't had time to make a call back.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Charles Lupisto, L-E-P-I-S-T-O. My wife is Rhonda, R-H-O-N-D-A.
And they live across the street from me. In
Who
case you want-
did, she said, there goes the neighborhood. I remember that.
If I may, your voicemail was received by Monique, and that was less than 24 hours ago, and
I figured she just
yeah,
hadn't had time.
she hasn't, so we'll get back
But
to
this
you.
was, he's referring to some other stuff.
Referring, in terms of volunteering, that had to do with the scanning of the
Right,
CCNRs.
But,
And so it could have been done two ways in the email that you received, either by calling in or by responding to that email. You could have simply typed in your
you guys
request.
can forgive me, I'm so low tech, I think I've been tying my shoes for 2 years.
Which is why we still
I don't
use the
get on the
telephone
computer.
too. Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
do emails, I don't even
Gotcha.
text on my telephone.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's why we wanted to do both ways. You're not alone. Yeah.
I know.
We'll send a balloon.
Carrier
we
pigeon.
can give him a copy of what we're looking for, the advisory committee. Give it to him, okay, Greg? We can print what we're looking for volunteers for the Finance Advisory Committee.
Yes, ma'am.
And we can just print a copy of what we sent around by email, and you may have a copy of that, so you know what we're looking for.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
You can pick it up at the front office whenever Monique calls you back and lets you know it's there.
Works for me, thank you.
Any other discussion? Ann, did you have anything? You're like me, you lost the thought?
I'm just really going to just need a vote.
I hear you. I don't want to cut off discussion. Anyone else? I promise you that we are planning ahead better than now. We have actually built in, I shouldn't say we, Richard has actually built in a way of saving for this type of thing in the future. Part of the problem is it should have been done sooner. And here we are suddenly without. But we've been catching up, we've been catching up, we've been catching up. And I think everybody on this board has been part of that process. And we brought Richard in because we thought he could help us with it. And now we've got him for 3 years, so go after him if you need to. Okay, did I hear a call for the question?
Yeah,
All in fa-
I'll call the question.
I thought I did it. All in favor? Are you all opposed?
I didn't vote for it in the first election, so I guess I just abstained.
It's up to you.
I'm just-
It's an
Since I-
she's abstaining?
As opposed to a motion.
Okay. Any other business that we can bring before this meeting? It wouldn't be much. Anybody have a comment out there? Okay, we are going, as soon as we adjourn, we're going into workshop for the declarations again. We got our response from our lawyers on what we should have done and shouldn't have done. And so that makes some changes that we have to deal with. So we're probably going to start from the beginning and go right through it again. It will not be interesting, but you're welcome to stay. You'll probably not be able to add any comments because right now we need to put it together. But we will bring in the membership for one more time before we send it out, I hope. Okay? I think I just said if you want to leave, go ahead. With that, what?
One question, when you send it out, are you gonna send out a copy, the declaratory instrument, of the finish?
Yes.
You know, when you send it out for a vote on the new declaratory instruments, you'll have the changes, you'll have the old one, and then you'll have to have underlined the change so that people can
Proposed.
Well,
But
compare.
if you would like to see a copy of what that looks like,
It'll be big, but, you know.
it doesn't, well, and I don't think if we can put it on the website and have copies available at the administration and be willing to send them out to anybody who wants them, then I think we're covered. But to try to send all that in an envelope would be very difficult.
I know it would,
Hmm?
I know it would.
Well, that's why we're not planning to. We don't want to use your money any worse than we do already.
Yeah, well,
I beg your
like that
pardon?
gentleman back there, a lot of people don't have email, so they wouldn't get to see it. And if I get a copy to vote on a declaratory instrument with changes, and I don't,
it's,
Could
I
I,
can't read how you can change it without an email.
Let's let Dan talk to you for a while.
It doesn't matter.
being on the original committee, we put together a copy like that, but it's been changed drastically since then. Part of the problem, Garland, is that not only has there been a number of changes made, different sections have been combined and moved around, and so it just isn't gonna work. The only way that, in my opinion, the only way that I see it will work is if you have a copy of the new declaration and a copy of the original old. 2 copies, old, new. And then it's up to you if you want to sit down, like I've done a number of times, and spend hours going through the 2 back and forth and compare them. That would be my suggestion. But to do what you're suggesting, which works very nice and was done very nice by our committee with it, you served on with me, now the changes become so extensive, and one section used to be here, now is over there. I don't see how it could be done. Does that answer your question?
but,
Answer the question.
Garland, we're also gonna try and delineate those sections that are that have been mandated by state law, because there's nothing we can do about
There's
those
nothing you
sections.
can do about the state law.
Right, and those are the sections that so you don't have to spend time on those, that even if you disagree with them, there's nothing we can do about that. They have to be the way they are. So we're gonna try and at least somehow delineate those sections, so you know at least that's what's mandated by law.
Well, maybe it could be posted in the office on a bulletin board or something for everyone to see. How can we vote on it if we don't read ahead of time?
We're gonna try and hit everybody. There'll be copies up front, there'll be copies online, there'll be a mail out, with a ballot, so you can say yay or nay or whatever on it. But we'll try and get everybody, but if you aren't online with anyone, then you really need to make sure that you come in and get a copy if you wanna look it over before the.
But you are gonna mail out a copy to you.
Yes.
Wait. We have some disagreement among the board here.
No, I agree with Dan, that you'll get a copy of the existing ones and a copy of.
No, that isn't what he said.
I didn't hear what he said then.
He said you'd have to see them both. He didn't say you'd get a copy in the mail.
It'd be expensive.
I think that we cannot promise that yet. We have at least one meeting, 2 meetings before we have to mail it out. So let's see what we come up with. I mean, I believe that one workshop is not going to be enough. So when I say that maybe you'll get 2 copies in the mail, as some of us here think, or maybe you won't, there'll be another way to do it. But it's not something that we're ready to say yet because we haven't been back through it again. Go ahead.
My error then, I was mistaken. I thought.
A copy of the declarations is on the website, so
Yes.
anybody
I know.
can go to the website and read if you do have.
Well, Chuck doesn't have one,
I do.
or he has one and he won't touch it. I don't know which it is.
We'll make sure you get all the information.
Every time I touch it, I break it.
Well,
Well, they can pick up a copy at the front desk.
That would be fun.
you're also you're interested enough to find a way to get it.
Absolutely.
And there are people who will be so uninterested that even if you send them a copy, they won't care.
People need to take more interest in what goes on around.
I know. So thank you for taking an interest. I appreciate that. I know we all do. Ann?
Excuse me, the copy that's on the website is the original copy that we're dealing with now.
Right, yes, ma'am.
Correct.
And you can make a copy from that, or someone you know can. You might even have a neighbor who could do it.
I get online,
Good for you.
for me.
Now, don't let him
I'm
touch
saying
it.
Our household, but, you know, we do know people that don't have
I
computers.
agree.
We
I
have
know
a sign on the
them.
computer. It's my name and a circle to the next to it.
Right.
Hang it on the computer.
But there are ways if we find that it makes, for instance, it's expensive to send all this out. So if
And I
it's
understand that.
if there's a way to do it, better we'll do it. So we're not promising anything, but we have ideas, right? Okay. Any other business? Then we're adjourned.
All right, move my chair around so we look at each other. Stand, work on it.